This is going to be a great year. I decided to do this at the last second. I don't know if anybody's going to watch, but Happy New Year's, everybody. Thought I'd just come on here and say Happy New Year's and maybe talk about what I'm going to do this year. Can't call any brokers tonight. I like doing that, so I love this song. I'll run this town tonight. One day. One day it's all going to be mine. So, what a year it's been. What a crazy year. So, kind of feel like telling my my story a little bit here. It's a long story. Let me see if I can open up the comments. I don't know where. I think I'm only posting to Facebook and YouTube. But Happy New Year's to whoever's watching, and kind of want to tell a little bit how I got here. Not go try and get too deep into it, but I always do. You know, I've been using that Crest whitening shit. That shit actually works. Just a professional toothpaste brand, Crest. Yeah, so let me see if I can check this out real quick on Facebook. Make sure I'm broadcasting. Oh, there we are. Happy New Year's. Let's see. Copy a link. Just want to share this in one spot. Happy New Year's. Nobody's watching. Because I'm looking down talking to this. Everybody's out there celebrating. I hope you're all having a great time. Let me see. There we go. So if you've been watching this long for 3 minutes, 0 viewers. Do I tell my story with no viewers? I should, huh? I don't know who will go back and watch it. Maybe nobody. Grew up in south side of Chicago, Lansing, Illinois. I was born in Hammond, Indiana, Northwest Indiana. I was told as a child, you know, I don't remember any of this shit, but my parents lived in Texas. My father worked for Union Carbide. He was from Charleston, West Virginia. He was an accountant. They used to go to church in Clear Lake, Texas with the astronauts. 2 months or a couple months before they walked on the moon, before my mom and dad moved to Chicago, I was Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin. Yep. What's that?
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I'm here. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, dude. Love you.
Thank you. Tell Kat I said Happy New Year. So,
yeah, my mom said to tell you Happy New Year too.
Yeah, she's gonna bring me a sweater over tomorrow. She said.
Oh, nice.
I'm on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
That's Josh. Thank God for Josh. Grateful. So supposedly Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin and the other guy touched me in my mom's stomach before they walked on the moon. I was born June 19th, 1969. They walked on the moon July 1930, something like that. They launched on a month later or something. Grew up in South Side of Chicago. My father had a bowling alley, had a bar in there. Grew up in a dysfunctional home. Kind of really painful to talk about it. A lot of alcohol, a lot of violence. It's not gonna. I'm not gonna go into too many details, but I love my father, and he passed away Thanksgiving morning, 1981. So, hi Nisha. I don't know if I can. If I type it, let me know if you see this. I think they only go to Facebook or YouTube. My comments. I don't know. I don't think they go to Facebook. But I could pull it up on here and do that. But if I do the Facebook at the same time, it messes with the Wi-Fi because I'd be typing, replying to a live feed on there. So my father died Thanksgiving morning, 1981. Not too long after that, my mother let my uncle back into the business and lost it for $32,000 in unpaid taxes. And that number is always stuck in my mind. And no father around, well, dysfunctional family, a lot of violence. I went down the wrong path, the wrong people. I started, I was like 13 years old. Started selling marijuana at the arcade. Place was called, I can't remember, Tokens. And by the time I was 18, I got arrested a few times selling drugs to the police. Stupid shit. Well, I developed a habit. So I spent the next 32 years hard drugs. I was a bartender server most of my life, functioning drug addict. But I pissed away some really great jobs. Had a couple great sales jobs, insurance, options trader, border exchange, mercantile exchange, Chicago. That was right. That was 2008. These guys were telling me, well, pick out your Ferrari. We're all going to be millionaires. These guys knew the price of oil was going to drop 5 months before it did. Yes, it does feel good to be sober. Hey, Joel L, my brother. Happy New Year's. So I tried to run away from the drugs. I was on the south side of Chicago. Some of the places that I survived going into. I mean, I'm not talking like just a casual user. I was like hardcore, but people couldn't tell because I was fat. So they knew I was doing a bunch of cocaine every night after work, staying up for 4 or 5 days at a time and shit. I'd still be waiting tables at Olive Garden, Outback Steakhouse, Texas Roadhouse. I worked for Olive Garden and Outback in 5 different states. I was always one of the top servers because I wanted to get my drugs. But I love taking care of people. I love serving. I love helping people. I always treated people like I would want to be treated, or like I would, think my mom and stepfather later on. Don was a good man. So I've lost so many good jobs. I've lived all over the country. I ran from the drugs. I've lived in not necessarily this order: Gatlinburg, Tennessee, Tampa, Daytona Beach, 2004. That sucked. 4 hurricanes, 2 tornadoes, the exact same spot, 6 weeks, lost everything I owned, 48 days, Halifax Medical Center, had to take an Amtrak back to Chicago to stay with my mom and stepdad because I was gonna die uh, if I didn't. Um, they didn't want me to come back, but I did. Thank God for my stepfather, John. But yeah, that was 2004. I said I'd never go back to Florida. I thought about going. I was headed back there a month ago, 2 months ago. Let's see, where else have I lived? Houston. I loved Houston. I went there after my second rehab. Get this, so me, I'm the only one that could fuck this shit up. It's 1999. I'm working at Outback Steakhouse, south side of Chicago. My boss, they call them proprietors there. They own part of the restaurant and get part of the profits with Outback Steakhouse. Great man, Andy Warner's back. I was late all the time because I was out getting high after work all the time. But I was his best server. I was the guy he could count on to, do anything that while I was there, if I got there on time. He sat me down. He said, "Dude, I can't cover for you anymore." He goes, "I fire people for way less." He says, "I need you to show up every day." And I said, "Okay, I can do that." He goes, "No, I need you to, if you need to take a shower, do it in the back in the where they had the cleaning the floor stuff." I'm like, "Dude, no." He goes, "Come in and sleep on the bench, but you got to be here. I can't." He said, "You got a month and you'll get insurance." And he said, "I want you to go to rehab." I'm like, "What?" He said, I said, "How do you know?" He's like, "I'm from Florida." I know. And so I said, "Yeah." They had a big going away party for me. I was going to the place when I was 18 the first time I went to rehab. And it was in Chicago. We got there. Well, let me see. I hate telling this part. Well, maybe I'll tell. So there's a Sarah and Gilby. There's a couple kids that worked there. They drove me back to the place where I was staying, changed before we went to the bar after work. The day I'm gonna go quit, we stop at the liquor store. I get out of the car, and I kid you not, I literally found a bag of dope. Like, all the time is when if you're a drug addict, you run out, you always want more. Pretty ironic. I find it on the day I quit. So, anyways, go to the rehab the next morning. Have my mom drive me there. Illinois does not treat for cocaine abuse. They said it's all in your head. I'm like, what? So I checked myself into a Northwestern hospital because I needed help. I spent 2 weeks there, and then my boss Andy, I'm telling him, I was like, I can't. There's no rehab here. He goes, well, let me make a call. He calls his best friend Ava Forney. She was the Outback Steakhouse owner, personal secretary. The owner of Outback Steakhouse tells Cigna Insurance, he says, "Look, if you don't pay for this man's treatment, I'm going to take my 60,000 employees and go somewhere else." Right? I'm like, whoa. I get that kind of blessing and break. So I go out to Sierra Tucson. Robert Downey Jr. got out of there 3 days before. I showed up there. I was supposed to bring a check for like 25,000, which I didn't have. I was just trying to wing it. Well, it was Memorial Day or something, or some kind of holiday that weekend. And the staff wasn't there, so I'd been there for like 4 days before they realized that I didn't bring the money. So they let me stay there for the next 2 weeks, but I needed more. My best friend was Paul Newman's daughter. She was in there. Probably, I don't know if I should be telling that, but too late. I already did. Paul Newman paid for the second half of my treatment at Sierra Tucson, with his Newman's own sauce. And who goes out and fucks that up? Me. That's how I ended up in Houston. That's how I got back on the story. But I loved Houston. Houston was a great city. I waited on Farrah Fawcett twice at Olive Garden in Houston. Her parents lived a block from me where I lived. It's pretty cool. So I bounced around the country some more, trying to run from the drugs, alcohol. I found cocaine in the middle of Yellowstone National Park. Sad. I worked up in Yellowstone for a summer. Entrance to the Grand Tetons, Jackson Hole, Wyoming, Seattle, Bonnie Lake up on 410. I left that place after I saw that volcano. I'd been there for like a month and a half. There was nothing but clouds every day. It was dreary as fuck. I hated Seattle. I don't care what anybody says. That seasonal depression fucks you up. Plus, it's all wet, mildy, moldy. There's rain and all that, misty. And then when the clouds came one day, I'm driving down the road. I see a big ass volcano behind me. I saw it on the map, but until you actually say how big it is, see, like I said, I have a natural history history of natural disasters, like in Florida, 4 hurricanes, 2 tornadoes, exact same spot. What the odds of that? Pretty bad. First time I landed in California, earthquake. Oh, here's a good one. When I was living in Reno, in Lake Tahoe, I drove out from Reno to the Redwood Forest in Eureka, right there on Pacific PCH1. Got out there and the sun was coming down already, so I drove all the way up to the top of the coast, Oregon, and California border. Spent the night out there. I grabbed some beers in my car. There's a little pier out there with a lighthouse. Sitting on the ocean, can't see it. No, drink a beer. I wake up in the morning, drive down through the Redwood Forest. Freaking amazing. If you've never done it, you have to do it. And I see this sign says tsunami evacuation route. I'm like, really? Seriously, God? Come on. I go, like, this would be just my luck. And I swear to God, I kid you not, 18 hours after that, I'm back in Reno. That earthquake hit Japan, and that same pier I was on, that cement pier, 4 people died on it. Not even 18 hours after I said that. Like, really? A tsunami? Come on. Like what are the odds of, only me, I would think that. But did I feel the tsunami, or was it just me and my curse of natural disasters? I've been through other ones too. I was in Tropical Storm Allison in Houston. I got like 40 inches of water in 12 hours. Flooded the whole city. See, I was in another earthquake. Where was that? That was in Fairfield, California, the Bay Area. That was 2006. It was just a small one. It was like nothing. But I always, every time I go to California, there's 2 earthquakes, tsunami. Well, no, I lived in LA for 3 months. There was no earthquake that time. But I did die 3 times while I was in LA. I was in Cedars-Sinai, and my heart stopped 3 times. My nurse kept me alive. Got a pacemaker. So I tell people, I'm all good with replacing body parts, knees, whatever. I want to live as long as I can. Life extension technology, something I want to invest in one day. You lost your home in Katrina? Oh my God, Nisha, I'm so sorry about that. Joel, you can do it, buddy. Like, I'm proof of it. Like, most people would lose their mind trying to eat 1 meal a day and lose weight. Not only have I done that, but at the same time, I quit cocaine and heroin. And like I said, I get so discouraged on myself, but I've come so far, So let's see, where else have I lived? I lived in LA for 3 months, like I said. That was crazy. Tried to get my girlfriend out of Vegas. Tia, love her. Oh my God, that's another story. But she wanted to go back to Vegas to do drugs. Vegas 4 times I lived there. First time was after I left Houston. Vegas not a good city to come with a broken heart. That was a bad idea. I ended up going there. Took an Amtrak train there. I've done a lot of Amtrak trains and buses and stuff, and cars cross country. I've been bouncing back and forth for years, different places. Gatlinburg was really nice. Gatlinburg for summer. That was before I went to Florida. The hurricanes. I won a trip to Atlantis in the Bahamas for selling margaritas. That was a really cool. If you've never been to Gatlinburg, that's a really beautiful place too. Hey Tim Snyder or Tyler, you're in Ohio, aren't you? Oh, you're the one with the Android. We can't be friends. Just kidding. Yeah, I'd like to connect with you too. Send me a DM on Facebook. I wrote your name down because you didn't have your phone number up on the screen today. So I was gonna like another 20 people I've written down. I wanted to reach out to and connect. So let's see, where else was I? I forgot what I was talking about before that. Short-term memory loss. No, just kidding. So like I said, I bounced around the country. I got good stories, bad stories in every place. I met a lot of amazing people over those years. Unfortunately, I didn't retain any of those connections because I was so, I guess, ashamed, and I hid my addictions. And a lot of times, I'd lose a job, get fired because I did no call, no shows a lot. A lot of no call, no shows. They don't like that. But I've always been fortunate where I always trusted God and everything. It's been tough. But I was reading something today. I was going to make a Facebook post about it earlier, but never actually made it to read the whole thing for a year. I didn't really start reading it until February 13th every day. This is The Power I Am by Joel Osteen. Love Joel. Today is, December 31st, so it says, light will break forth. Then your light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing will quickly appear. Isaiah 58:8. And these are Joel's words. It's great to receive a miracle, but there's no greater feeling than to become a miracle. Me? Who are you carrying, or who are you lifting up? So I've had a few people said I've, inspired them or lifting them up from doing this, which is what makes me keep doing this. And if you will make it your business to become a miracle, God will make it his business to give you miracles. You are the answer to somebody's prayer. You can give a rescuing hug this week, or you can help a friend cross the finish line. Joy JB something. When you go out each day, have this attitude: I'm a miracle waiting to happen. If you will live not thinking about how you can get a miracle, which is what I'm always doing. I'm like, I need a miracle, God. I need help. I'm always asking God and Jesus for help every day. I'm like, all day long, I'm like, please, God, help me. Please. Crying half the time. It says, if you will live not thinking about how you can get a miracle, but how you can become a miracle, then just as God promised, your light is going to break forth like the dawn. Your healing, your promotion, and your vindication will quickly come. So, kind of think that's really applied to me a lot. Like I've always said, I like doing this. I'm sorry to hear that, Nisha, your dad died. That sucks. Maybe if I could just stop one thing like that happen, one person's family, maybe I could my story could help somebody. After I saw Ed Milet and at Clever Summit, hour one more. That was amazing. Clever Summit. I don't even know how I got there, how I'm sitting right here, right now. I know it is because I prayed and asked God for it. But I'm kind of getting to that. I'm bouncing all over here with these stories. So, thank you, Joel. And yes, your two daughters are miracles, Nisha. So I went all trying to run from the drugs and my problems all over the country, thinking if I'd run somewhere else, I'd be okay, or this would be the thing that I needed to do. I kind of did that too when I just left Las Vegas. I'll get there. So it doesn't. Yeah, just have to. I can't explain, but you have to, like they always say, it's up to you if you really want to quit or if you want to make any changes in your life. Everybody can push you that way, but ultimately it comes to when you're tired enough. Unfortunately, some people don't get tired enough and they die and stuff, or they just gave up. But I never gave up, even since I was a little kid, because I used to read Entrepreneur magazine as a child. Before my father died, I used to dream of businesses and all this stuff. I'd say I'd be a millionaire before I was 30, and that didn't work out. I accept responsibility for everything that's happened in my life and all the bad things I've been through and bad things I did to other people or experiences. It's really humbling to do this, but like I said, I want to help somebody. And only way I can do that is being completely honest and living with integrity now, because I had no integrity before. If I did, it was a mask that I wore. So let me see, where else have I lived? Up in Redding, California. That was beautiful. There's another volcano there, Mount Shasta. I loved Reno, Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe was amazing. Reno, that is the biggest little city on earth. I used to love waking up to look in those mountains. But Jackson Hole was really amazing too. Big ass moose walking by the front door in the morning. That was cool. Entrance to the Grand Tetons. You could look out. I look up. You ever seen the Tetons? They're not like any other mountain range in the country. They just kind of just rise up. They're like 12,000 feet, 10,000 feet. It really shows you how small you are in the greater picture of everything once you go see those. Because you can drive across the country, you can even see the Rocky Mountains and stuff, but it doesn't really, they're not that grand, and because you're gradually approaching to Denver and stuff, you're going up, But when you go see the Grand Tetons, they just straight rise up. You know how tiny your life and your part of this existence is, and how short of a window you have to make a difference or not make a difference in people's lives. When I was in LA, and this is 2015, that was the worst thing I've ever seen. I mean, I've been homeless quite a few times, other parts of the country. But that Skid Row there, it's absolutely fucking horrible. It shouldn't even exist. I mean, it's different when you see it on TV. You're only seeing it for like what, 2-3 seconds. But if you drive through there in the daytime, it's summer, it's hot, you can smell the urine, the feces, the garbage. See people walking by. There's all these canvas tents, blue, the black, blue roof canvases, cardboard everywhere, and it's in the garment district, and there's a flower district. There's like shops open, but it's the most horrible thing I've ever seen. Like the people, and they're walking, they don't have any sparkle in their eyes. They don't. Their eyes are like glossed over. They're zombies. Um, I went out there and bought some drugs, and I went out to Venice Beach. And I kid you not, there's a law in California. I don't know if it's still on the books, but they can't arrest you for doing drugs. They can take it away, but they're not going to arrest you. Crazy as fuck. So I'm sitting out on Venice Beach, smoking crack, and the sheriff pulls up and says, "Hey, how you doing? You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." So crazy. But I seen the shooting start at night, and I just came from that Skid Row where I bought the crack, and I made my first self wish. Like when you see a shooting star, what do you wish for? A Ferrari, or that girlfriend, or that job, or maybe that house, or a birth of a child. It's always something selfish for you. Most people. I can't say everybody, but I never made a selfless wish. And I'd like to think that was that little thing that started where I want to be today. I said I said, God, one wish, I want to end homelessness in America. And that is still my goal. It's still my plan. I want to feed 1 billion people in the next 10 years. 1 billion. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I didn't know how I'm going to get here, but I know God's going to help me do it. But I'd like to end homelessness in America too, in the world. Multifamily housing, it could be part of it. There's a lot of gotta have big dreams, or why dream at all? But that's my why, is to help people like me and that don't have anybody to help them. I didn't have anybody to help me. My family left me to die out in Vegas 3 times. Literally told me, "Die, motherfucker." And I didn't do shit to them, except my mom and stepdad just kept on helping me, paying my rent when I was in the hospital, and car payment, because I was on drugs, blowing my money. The rest of the family didn't think I was worth the expense. Even my mom, she told me, "See ya." I didn't get one call on Thanksgiving or Christmas from anyone. That's why I'm glad February 13th, when I decided to change my life and walk away from everyone and everything negative and past, to create this life where I'm at. Yeah, it is gruesome. They got that in Miami too, huh? Sad. I want to help those people. So I'm kind of, I do this. I'll go off on tangents, talking and doing other things. So basically, it brought me all up to Super Bowl. Like how I got started. I was a year ago. I'm trying to think back what I was doing a year ago. A year ago, I'm sitting there. I just got my last unemployment check. I had a great job at the start of the pandemic. I had been homeless in Vegas. Was that 2019 in the spring and the winter, and I got off the streets. I mean, if you there are programs to help them out there. You just gotta also be wanted. But I want to help the people that don't want it and do want it, because you can't just say, "Hey, I'm only going to help somebody that wants it." I want to help everybody, whether they want it or not. I want to try and help those people. So I got off the streets. I got a job. I sold timeshare before in Vegas. That was a good job. I fucked a couple of those up. I started getting people out of their timeshares. Just started working at an office in Summerlin. Summerlin's a beautiful part of Las Vegas, master plan community. Howard Hughes Corporation built it. Howard Hughes bought that land back in the 30s. It sits up against Red Rock National Park on the western side of Vegas. Everything east and west goes ends in Bureau of Land Management, or the Red Rock National Canyon. It's only 14 miles off the strip. If you get to Vegas, go see Red Rock National Park. It's fucking amazing. But the land is about 4 or 5 miles across and 14 miles. It was bought by Howard Hughes for the Spruce Goose, the largest plane ever built. Wooden plane. Thing was built out of wood. It's in a museum somewhere. Never made it out to Vegas. Flew out there. But that's why he bought the land. So Howard Hughes Corporation, they built McCarran Airport. They built a lot of things in the city. They still building stuff over there. He still owns it. I think he built Area 51 too, to be honest with you. And no lie. I think Howard Hughes, that's what he really built out there. But Summerlin is beautiful. It's a master plan community. I had that job, flew out to Nashville for Christmas party. I'm making like $150,000 a year. Then we got back from like a few weeks after. Pretty sure I had COVID in the beginning, so it was exactly 24 days after the flight. I'd been sick for a while. Wait, when did COVID break on the news? Oh yeah, but it was 2 days before it broke on the news. I thought I was gonna die. I was at, or I didn't think, I was trying not go. My boss sent me to the hospital with 2 other. They were like, "Take him to the hospital. You look like that." I was trying to still work. I was clean then, but 2 days after that, it broke on the news, and now my doctors think that I had it, of course, but there was no way to test for it at that time. But I'm joking on that. But they sent us home, right? I'm doing good. I got an amazing job. Finally, it's been one of my longest 5 months I've been sober, and they sent us home. Well, I didn't build any relationships with those people in the office yet. I knew a few of them from selling timeshare before, but I wasn't on a, hey, let me call you and can I come over, hang out basis or any of that stuff. And the people I was renting my house from in Summerlin had the most amazing place to spend the pandemic. I had a waterfall, a pool, a double pit boss barbecue, and a full basketball court in the backyard. But I was by myself. Even though I was on the phone helping customers all day, I spent 167 hours a week by myself without any human contact, except to go to Albertsons. So I'm like 500 pounds at the start of the pandemic. I kid you not. I don't know how close I was to 500, but I know it was at least 475 to close to 500. They said I got a pacemaker, got pre-existing conditions, blood clots in my leg from sitting around doing drugs. They said, well, fatty, you're going to be the first ones that are going to die. You got a pre-existing condition. You smoke cigarettes. I was still smoking. I was still drinking. Well, I was like, I'm not going to sit here and die by myself. So I relapsed. And I spent the next 21 months of the pandemic by myself, or 167 hours a week. There's only 168 hours in a week. Working. I was still working, but I was sitting there getting high. I thought the world's gonna end. I was like, fuck it. I'm by myself. What else am I gonna do? Sit here and cry about it? So fast forward to the Super Bowl, or a year ago, or 1 year ago. I got laid off June 25th from my job. And then the house that I was renting, that beautiful house, I had to get out. I was renting it from people that were renting it. I didn't know that they were month to month. I thought they were the owners. They're like, oh, you got to be out June 30th. Well, I lost my job on June 25th after I knew that. And I was like, whole thing, I'm relapsed. It's been like 14 months I was there. So I moved in with my drug dealer in Las Vegas. And I spent the next 6 months there till New Year's. And then my money ran out. No unemployment, nothing. I had to come back into the world. I couldn't even, took me 50 minutes, just 10 minutes short of an hour to walk 0.6 of a mile to the bus stop to go find a job. I couldn't even walk on January 3rd. Could not walk. That's how fat and broken I was. So I started building up strength, but I went to selling phone sales, people doing refis, transfer them to like Rocket Mortgage and whatever those other companies are, Money Tree or something, whatever. And I was still doing some drugs, not as heavy as I was when I had my unemployment. So got to around the Super Bowl. I was 444.4 pounds on June 25th last year. I think it was right after maybe the first week of the year, because after my unemployment ran out, I had to go on a forced 1 meal a day diet. It wasn't really, it ended up being that way. So I started losing weight. I think I broke into like the 390s, like maybe the middle week of January or middle of the month in January. So it's a day before the Super Bowl. It's Saturday. I didn't go into work at the place where we're doing the refinance transfers. And I'm sitting there and I found should have went into work. I found a Facebook ad from Pace Morby. Let me see if I can find it. I'm looking on my Facebook reels. If you go back there, it's about 10, 12 down. But I'm sitting there getting high.
Market is on fire.
And I see this. Oh, it died. It hit the wrong. This 1 minute Facebook ad saved my life.
The market is on fire, like most of California. Every single homeowner thinks their house is worth more than the Taj Mahal and won't even accept any sort of reasonable cash offer. Because of this, wholesalers are getting desperate and they're resorting to shady tactics, much like the bad guys in Space Jam. Not that one, the good one.
I almost swiped up. Right at that point, I almost swiped up. I hate LeBron, but I saw Michael Jordan.
In fact, our industry is adding new regulation to deal with these monsters. Soon, wholesaling real estate is going to be like playing basketball, but with 27 referees. This scares most people trying to jump into this industry. But me, honestly, I love it. With the skills that I teach and use, I can make
I love this part right here.
As happy as a Mormon on his wedding night. I actually feel like Michael Jordan of real estate investors.
That's why I kept watching him, because he mentioned Jordan.
Cleaning up these wholesalers' real estate messes.
The only reason.
You want an example? All right. 9618 Waterview Parkway in Texas. It's a deal. I've never actually been to the property, but a wholesaler real estate market is on fire, like most of California.
So that Facebook ad is why I am here right now today, talking to you on YouTube in Josh Keating's basement. He's not sub 2, but he's a powerhouse mastermind, which was created by Carlos Ruiz, which is sub 2. The next day the Super Bowl was on. After I saw that ad, it was Saturday afternoon. I spent the next like 7 hours. I went down at sub2.com, started watching the videos, watching some of them over and over. I'm like, this shit cannot be real, And I said, this man is Willy Wonka. This is my last shot at a golden ticket. Not knowing he had those golden tickets in it, because I didn't know anything about this man until the day. I looked for hours to try and find dirt on him. Couldn't find any. So, end of the Super Bowl, I took my last hit of crack and my last hit of heroin. I said, God, take this away from me. I'm done. I'm like, please, Jesus, I'm done. I said, I'm ready. I'll go all in. And I can't explain it other than divine intervention. I didn't go to any rehab, any doctor, AA, NA. I literally just walked away from every person except the guy I was living with. He was my dealer. So I had to tough it out until November 3rd when I finally got out of that house. I stayed clean for 8 months with a 14-year convicted felon, murderer, drug dealer, blood gang from California. You know, not only people quit, but it was so easy. If I wanted to relapse, it was right there. That room where I rented from him just sucked the life out of me. But I made it. I made it out of there. That's kind of why I bought that car at the last second. And, I got a settlement check because I was in an accident in May. I kept on getting gifts from God since I've been on this journey. But Clever Summit was got my little crew card here. If I wouldn't have volunteered there either, I wouldn't be sitting here. If it wasn't for Tommy Thornburg, I wouldn't be sitting here. So many people that have helped me along this journey, like Josh, Carlos Ruiz, Famila Songcours, Elizabeth Fong Song. I forget how many people have helped me, and that sucks. I wish I can remember everybody. See, Joel, you saw it virtually. I couldn't even afford a $97 virtual ticket. That's why I volunteered, because I thought I was wanting a chance at that NFT's house. I actually met Vina backstage when I was guarding, not guarding, well, I was just one letting people in to bother the VIPs. Ingrid Hernandez brought you. I met her name. You know what? I probably saw you there, Joel. In fact, I think I remember seeing you now. There was one entrance door right when you came through the hall, went up the elevator or escalators, and from the elevators, there's the first entrance door on your left. I was the one standing there every day. There was like this thing people I was helping people not trip over it. So they Marta Hatter, Cole Hatter's mom, and Cody Sperber's wife became like my friends. They were running it in the background. You know, Cody runs it, but it was really, you know, they do all the little stuff for them. Marta Hatter, love that. That woman's amazing. So is Cody Sperber's wife. His son, Cody Sperber, is a little badass. he was like, this is my fucking show. And he's like 10 years old. He got a mouth on him, but he knows it's his and shit. And he knows his place. He knows he's got a bold mind. But Clever Summit, I met Vina Jetty backstage. Remember, she was looking at some food now, and she asked me about it. And I was like, I don't know. I'm just standing here. I didn't get a chance to eat it. But Ed Milet was back there. Robert Kiyosaki. So many big people. Jamila Pace. Vina. I can't remember all the names that were on that stage. But they're walking past me. And the whole reason I went to Clever or stayed going there was because I was trying to get in the Gator program on May 1st. And I risked not getting into it to get my PCS set up by going there. The night before, I posted in the Facebook Creative Finance group that had an amazing first day. It was so awesome. But I was scared to go back because then I wouldn't have the money to go. Well, I woke up at 5 a.m. and I just got my iPhone, which I got April 3rd. I just found out today. I just looked at it when I was putting a video up. I have, where's it at? I have 8,087 photos and 6,047 photos since April 3rd, since I started documenting my weight loss, which is how I get made an Instagram, Facebook digital creator, and was getting paid for it. But see, I got sidetracked. Shit. Yeah, Clever Summit. They're walking by all the VIPs, and I said, "Hey, Pace," and they all stopped, turn around. I said, "I'm Larry Parsons. I'm gonna be your best student." And he walks over me and he looks me in the eye. It seemed like forever. Shakes my hand and just walks away. Didn't say a damn word. I don't know. I'm like, oh, it was still cool to meet him the very first time, and he actually remembered that when I met him again in Springfield, Illinois, after he bought that multifamily property, and I got to meet him for the second time. We had a long conversation with a meetup of 65 people. Is it almost it's gonna be New Year's in there or in Texas in a minute, right, Joel? 7 minutes. But I didn't know I was gonna sit here and tell my life story. I just told you little bits and pieces, but that's how I ended up here. Super Bowl Sunday, finding that 1 minute Facebook ad, taking action. Oh, so Tommy Thornburg, God bless that man. He the only reason I went back for the day 2 and 3 was because he said he was gonna help me with my PCS. That man gifted me my PCS setup. I'm so grateful. I wouldn't be sitting here so many times where I thought, man, this is it. This little journey's over. It was like Carlos Salguero was saying the other night in the CS3 Infinite cash flow Zoom. You're 2 inches from the mine, the goal. You're picking away. Don't give up. I've almost given up quite a few times, but God keeps on bringing something into my life, like the car accident May 8th, and the next one I'm getting paid for. If I wouldn't have got that money on October 28th from the first accident, I was about to get thrown out in the street by that convicted drug dealer I was living with, murderer. Gave me my opportunity to escape Vegas. I didn't want to escape. I love Vegas. You can still have a great life there and be clean, sober. An amazing church there called Central Christian. If you go there, it's like a Las Vegas show, but you got to remember all the people that are performing there in the band, they're all performing on a strip or something. They're entertainers. But I got out of Vegas, bought that car, buy here, pay here. Started driving. I drove out to Los Angeles first to go see Carlos Ruiz and Mike Carmichael and Christian Hernandez and JJ Azarian at my first real estate investing meetup. And it was at I forget the name of the bar, but it was in Montebello. I almost didn't make it there because the car I bought when I went to Jiffy Lube, found out there was only 1 quart of oil in the car. The guy told me, "Hey, have you checked the oil?" He knew there was something fucking wrong with it. I said, "Well, yeah, I'm checking right now. I'm having to fill it up." They said there's only 1 quart in the motherfucker. And one of the tires was low. Well, one of the tires was almost blue. It was low again, and a man named Jesus changed my tire at the last second. There was no other places with an air pump around. And I told him, "Can you just put some air in?" He was closing up his shop. He goes, "No, I can't let you drive." He goes, "You're gonna die." I was like, "Oh shit!" Yeah, they hit little rips in the size of it. He goes, he changed that tire in like 5 minutes. He brought me a brand new Yokohama tire, got me to that real estate meetup, and I was there. I I didn't get to it like 7:45. It started at 6:30. There's only 15 minutes left. So Mike Carmichael from Sub 2 said, he goes, hey, I'm auditioning for 2 apprentices. Whoever wants to come up, I'll pick 2 of you, and then I'm going to have you read for me. Well, I went and talked with Carlos outside, and Jesus Lopez, and Mike Siri, was Mark Chang. We're there. There was a couple other people there, but I walked back in. I had nowhere to go. My car was loaded up with all my stuff. I just left Las Vegas. I was headed to Miami, or Texas, and then Miami, because I might stay in Texas, but then if I didn't want to, I'd go to Miami. I was going because of multifamily, and I'm sitting there watching these 2 people read, and they were reading, and then there was a long page, and neither of them wanted to read it. So I was like, you know what, give me, I'll just read it. And Mike Carmichael sitting there watching me read it. And it's one of the things where you read it, you have people close their eyes, and what you're reading is you're describing what they should do or feel. And he told me at the end of it, he's like, oh my God, it was crazy. He goes, I found your superpower. I know your superpower. And I'm like, what's my superpower? He goes, you're a storyteller. Mike Carmichael said that himself too. He said, that's my superpower. So maybe that's why I'm doing this. But he offered me a chance to be his apprentice there, but I wasn't going to be staying out there. I wasn't going to be in LA, and I had to drive across the country, and then all this other stuff happened. I mean, I don't know. But I went to the Grand Canyon from there. Never been to the Grand Canyon in 20 years of being in Vegas 4 times, living 78 miles from it. Never went there. It's ridiculous. You had to go to the Grand Canyon if you live that close. But after I left there, I'm in Flagstaff and went to Sedona. Spent a night in a hotel there. Famous Encores. She was helping me. She was picking out my hotel and stuff and telling me where gas stations. I think she's still tracking me on my iPhone. I'm sharing my location with her. So I'm talking to Elizabeth in Chicago, another Sub 2 student. As I'm driving through Arizona desert there, and she says, hey, because I was on my way to the Pace's office in Mesa to join Sub 2. And she said, well, hey, Pace is going to be here in Chicago or Illinois. He's taking all his students out to lunch. Why don't you come here instead of going to Texas, and then you go to Texas? So me being the crazy idiot that I am, I decided to drive to Illinois. So I changed course, and I went up to Denver because I was like, I'm going to take the scenic. I like taking scenic routes, and I knew I could make it in time. So I went up all the way up to Denver, and I drove from there to Chicago. Ended up going down and meeting Pace. That was amazing. I don't know how he remembered that stuff, but he did. I told him when I first went up and shook his hand, I said, how do you remember me? And then walking away, and then Elizabeth says, tell him about Flagstaff. And he's like, what about Flagstaff? And tell him how you drove for 2 days. And he was like, what? And he's had this cameraman get it. And he's like, you drove for how long? And I told him, and I said, yeah. Right before I said to him, I go, I know why you remember me. And when nobody else really could hear it, I was like, it's because the first day in Gator training, I DM'd you on Zoom, and he karate chopped me. He goes, no, I remember you from Clever. And he goes, I have a good memory. And we had a nice 2.5 minute conversation there. I got it. It's on my Facebook page somewhere, but that's the second time I'm at Pace, and I love that, man. So ended up, I'm leaving Chicago, and my engine blew in the car that I just bought. Got stuck out there. It was a good thing that I did get stuck out there, because when I was in the Airbnb for 10 days, burning through my money that I just got, I got the chance to be in that Facebook group with Vina Jetty. And I got the chance to be really active in it. And I don't think I would be in the multifamily right now, or I probably would, but not where I am and with the people I met through being in that Facebook group and being one of the top 10 people for being active in that group. And when I got to be on that Zoom with her, that was amazing and rewarding myself. Like I was saying, I posted on Facebook and Instagram here a little bit, or TikTok. February 12th of last year, I'm talking to gang members, hookers, drug addicts out on the streets of Vegas. Fucked up train wreck of a life. And by asking God for help and trusting Him, here I am 10 months later. I'm in proximity of billionaires and millionaires, and I'm on my way to helping people. So, Happy New Year's, everybody. Happy New Year's, Sherry. Is it Sherry or Cherry? So that's my story, how I got here. Thank God for Sub 2. Thank God for Pace Marby, Vina Jetty, Carlos Ruiz, Josh Keating. So many people that have helped me. Mike Carmico, Famila, Liz. I'm grateful for everybody that's even talked to me for a few minutes along this journey. Happy New Year's, Joel. So it's 2023. I have my goals on a piece of paper in my mind. I haven't written them down yet, but I got this book from Keston. I ordered it the other day. I don't know if it was in the morning, a different Zoom, or the CS3 Zoom, but 4 maps of happy, successful people. It's kind of easy to read. It's got pictures in it and shit. just like what I need right now. I'm like a new baby here, getting all this information. 1,000 units. That's amateur, Joel. I want 10,000 doors. 10,000 doors by the end of this year. 100K. That'd be good. 100K a sign would be nice. You wrote down all your goals and affirmations and then threw it out. Why did you throw it outside? Let me see. I do a lot of voice texting, so Happy New Year's, Chris. Thank you for all your help so far. I'm on YouTube right now. If you want to check it out, I'm live right now. Have a good night. Happy New Year's, brother. So 2023. I need a deal. I got maybe till February 1st here. I had to take a job at Denny's. I'm completely out of money. I know God's going to come through. I mean, shit. I've gotten this far. Why am I worried now? With all the shit I've been through, the shit I've overcome. Why should I worry? Anyways, well, that's my story. It's gonna, like I said, I'm here to help people. I want to feed 1 billion people in the next 25 years. Let's say 10, but it might be a stretch. It's like, we could do it. But thank you all for whoever's watched this or been here. Joel, Tyler, Nisha, Sheree. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. God bless y'all. 2023 is going to be the best years of all of our lives. You got the choice whether you want to be happy or not. You believe in yourself. Write down your goals. I'm getting that done before I go to sleep. Maybe. No. Yes, I'll call you tomorrow, bro. Thank you, Tyler. And yeah, we're gonna get this done. I got too big of a mission. I'm on a mission from God. Like the Blues Brothers. Thank you, everybody. So I'm just getting started. A little bit late, but I'm getting started. Power of one more. So thank you guys. Have a great New Year's. Happy New Year's, everybody. So I'm going to sign off for 2022. This is the start of a whole new chapter. I'm writing the story today. I'm writing the book. I'm creating my own thoughts. Our thoughts create our reality. If you haven't read this book, you should read this too. You can literally create your own life. I'm living proof that you can start over. You can do anything. I mean, I just gave you the tame version of what I've been through. Maybe over the next decades, I'll share everything with everybody. But thank you guys. Have a great night. Love y'all. Peace.